Okay, so I have a new paper bead drying rack, and as you can see, I've got quite a few beads on it. That's actually about 47 strands of beads, and it's not even half full. And in a few minutes I'll show you how I put it together and what it's made from and why I decided to make another paper bead drying rack. Alright, so let's get to it. Okay, so to make this particular paper bead drying rack, you're going to need the following. A piece of wood. This is a 1x3, I believe, that was ripped down across the top, and that is about 2 inches wide. And then we drilled holes 1/4 inch in diameter, 1 inch apart. And here is a little bit of a tip. We used a piece of pegboard to actually use as a template for drilling our holes because they're perfectly spaced apart, 1 inch apart. And this piece of wood here is 14 inches long, but you can make it as long as you want. And just keep in mind that let's say, for example, you have a 25-inch piece of wood, you're going to want 24 holes. This is a 14-inch piece of wood, and so I have 13 holes. And to make this, you're going to need dowels, 1/4 inch dowels, and I happen to have 13 of them. 12 of them are already prepared, ready to go. And what I did is I beveled the edge here with a pencil sharpener. And I actually have one of those wall crank style paper pencil sharpeners, but for the camera here I'm going to try this little handheld one. Basically you just put it in there so it's barely beveled, just enough to slide it into one of the holes, just like that. And that's all you really need. You only want to sharpen one end so that way it'll fit into your holes. And my holes are just a little bit wee tight, but I'm going to put some glue on it, which will make them more slippery initially, and I'm going to use my hammer to pound them in. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now and get my wood glue out. It's going to take me just a moment here. And put a dab of wood glue. My husband actually helped me make this, and there happens to be a stopper in the top of this. I always forget that. Okay, just a tiny bit of glue. Just a dab. Okay, and stick that back in there. And I really should have prepared better. I don't have my paper towel handy. And I don't want to rub it on my legs. You know, my good pants. But anyway, so on my hands it goes, and I'll wash it off later. Okay, so let's give this a try. Hopefully I won't have to drill these holes slightly bigger, because these are bigger dowels than the ones that we actually drilled the holes for. I just wanted fresh dowels. Okay, so I'm going to dip that in there, and I'm going to start at one end, and hopefully I can get these in straight. Alright, so you're going to have to excuse my noise, hopefully. Hey, that goes in just fine. And the hole goes all the way through. So, I'm going to be making a mess on my counter here. But this is going to be a nice strong, I'm going to get myself a scrap paper to put underneath to catch the glue. This is going to be a very nice strong paper bead drying rack because I'm using 1/4 inch wood dowels, pounding them into this little rack here, and then this is going to be mounted on the wall. You know, the wall's right here. It's going to be mounted on that. And on this end, it's actually going to go into a stud using these deck screws. This is definitely overkill. Definitely don't need to use this, but that's what I'm using. So if you want to see what these screws are, they're actually cabinet screws. They're number 8s by 2.5 inches long. And believe it or not, I'm going to be using it for both sides. And the wall anchor that I'm using is one of these. Definitely overkill. What's going to happen is when the screw goes into it, it'll spread it apart and it will lock it in place. I don't have a stud on both ends, I only have it on this end, so that's what I'm going to do. And so I'm going to go ahead and do one more on camera, and then I'll do the rest off camera. Okay, we'll stick that in there and hammer it in. There, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead off camera and finish these up, and then I'll show you how I actually mount this. Okay. Okay, so I've gotten all of them pounded in. Now I'm just going to clean up the glue from around these. And something I wanted to talk about with regards to these. I bought a package of the Dowels. They're 12 inches long, 1/4 inches thick, and I got them from Amazon.com. And the website, it's I believe it's craftpartsdirect.com is where you can actually also buy them directly. And I got these in a package of 25 of them. Not very expensive. Sure, I could have gone to my local hardware store and bought some dowels, but I would have had to cut them down to size, and I didn't really want to go through all that. I wanted 12-inch dowels. I wanted them all to be the same. And so I just decided to go ahead and buy them already pre-made. It just makes it more convenient, faster, and easier. And I think they look good. So I got them all in. Now it's just a matter of cleaning up the glue, letting it dry for about 20 minutes or so before I mount it on the wall. And I do definitely recommend that one end at least go into a stud and the other end go in with wall anchors. Expect this to be able to hold up to, I do expect it to hold up to 5 pounds of beads. And another reason why, if you've seen my other videos before, I have made other bead drying racks, and I've made, you know, several types, and I think this one is going to be the most efficient and compact one that I have ever made. And I have a permanent place that I can put it in my craft room. I am aware that most people don't have room in their craft rooms, but if you have a spot where you can mount this above a trash can, that would be the most efficient. My paper bead drying rack that I made with a cooling rack, that was also a good idea. The only thing that I found frustrating with it is actually using the S-hooks. The whole idea, though, being able to hang longer strands of beads and having it be mounted directly over a trash can, I thought was a great idea. And my initial journey getting started with making paper bead drying racks started with Lisa at Beyond Bracelets. She had made one with cardboard. And I recently posted a picture of some beads that were in the process of drying, and they were on a drying rack that I had made with cardboard like hers, but instead of skewers I did use 1/4 inch dowels. And then I got thinking, well, that takes up space on my countertop, and I'd rather not have that. So that's why I came up with this one that can mount on the wall with screws, and is very simple if I ever decide to take it down and store it, which I don't think I ever will. It's small and compact enough so it can fit up on a shelf sideways, you know, put it up like that. But this should last me quite a few years, and all I have to do is mount it in these 2 holes, and I'm going to mount it in the same place where I had my cooling rack, paper bead drying rack. I took that down and I'm putting this one back up there. And what I like about it is I don't have to worry about S-hooks. I don't have to worry about breaking skewers. I don't have to worry about using the mini binder clips to hang them on. Believe it or not, the medium-sized binder clips will fit over these, the little head part. But I can just make a loop big enough to go over these 1/4 inch dowels, and when I pull them off, I just pull my strands of beads from the bottom and pull them up. You know, pull them up and off. So this is going to be the most efficient way of hanging your beads to dry. And since this has 13 dowels, and this is almost a foot long because some of it's in the wood, of course, I have about 11 inches of space, well, 10 inches of comfortable drying space, and I can hang my strands 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch apart. Can you imagine how many beads that's going to hold, especially if your strands are more than 12 inches long or even 18 inches long? You can hang thousands, well, several hundred, maybe 1,000. The cardboard one that I made had 11 dowels, and I was able to hang, my last batch that I did, I hung 50 strands of beads. So I figured this one should hold a lot more than that. And I could have fit more on that other one, but this one's massive. I could imagine myself hanging 10 strands of beads on each one of these. So 10 times 13, 130 strands of beads. That's huge, especially if each strand is 15, 16, 18 inches long. That's going to be a massive amount of beads. So, okay, next step, mounting it on the wall. Okay, so to mount this bead drying rack, you're actually not going to see me actually mounting it, but I'm going to prepare it here, and because I've already got the little thingy inside, I already have this thing inside the wall ready to go. You know, the little thingy here, and these screws require a hex driver, so I have that ready to go in my drill, and I'm using a 19.2 volt Craftsman cordless drill, and so far it's been the best drill that we've ever had with regards to cordless. So that's what I'll be putting them in with, and I'm just going to go ahead and prepare this. Just going to get these started. Let's see. And here we go. Okay, hopefully it won't go through into my desk. But I just wanted to get these started, and so that way I'm not fighting with it when I put it up on the wall. And one little tip that I have for you, when you work alone and you don't have someone to help you put stuff up like this, you can put double stick tape on the back side and mount it with the double stick tape so it will stay there. And actually I want to make sure that these screws actually go through the back. So I'm going to be off camera here for just a second. That'll do it on that side. And now that I'm over here, I'm going to try to do this sideways. Excuse my hand. Make it poke through just a little bit on the other side so I can catch my holes on the wall. Okay, so that's it for now. I'll show it, you know, it'll be, and then that's how I did it. Okay, have a great day. Thank you for watching. And if you want to see more of my videos, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Go visit my website at paperbeadcrafts.com for all sorts of information about how to make paper beads and other videos that I have. And also, there's not going to be a project sheet with this particular project, but I will put the list of materials that I used for this project in the description below. So thank you and have a great day. Goodbye.